Once upon a time there was a man named Asela who lived in a faraway country in a land called Sri Lanka, which is close to India. Most of his friends chose the easy life inside, but Asela lived outside in a shed at the back of his family house with tiny alligators and friendly reptiles. Asela was a good student, but he liked to exercise and lift heavy objects, while most of his friends loved to hang out at local bars or pool tables. Asela liked to spend time with his mother and help her with the chores of caring for a very large family. He'd gladly spend time mopping floors, putting away groceries, or hanging out with his nieces and nephews. Everyone in Nagambo village liked him. One day his neighbor said, "You're a nice man," and got him to sign up for the Sri Lanka, U.S. Marriage Bureau. He gladly paid the registration, but then he quickly went back to his job where he lifted heavy boxes full of sales for America. He waited for many years and started to feel like he'd never marry, but he did not know that a beautiful American woman would be writing him soon. First she wrote an investor, then a comedian, then a man named Asela who looked very cute behind a plant. Then she forgot about them. The woman's name was Tamila. "What are you doing?" the woman's mentor asked when she saw the online letter. "You're a leader here, you can't meet your husband that way." But Tamila was already imagining it. She only said, "Isn't this is the 21st century?" During this time, Asela was promoted at his job. He was saving a lot of money, but he developed a bad cough and was told by doctors that he had cancer. His boss loved his work and gave him free meals, free transportation, and more money, but Asela was worried about his health. He was getting older and his family was thinking that he had better marry immediately because they didn't know about the cancer diagnosis. Suddenly, many young ladies were being presented to him for marriage. Meanwhile, Tamila had a lot of work to do to speak at her big children's conference. The conference was a huge success. First a VIP came from the US, then teachers from China, then parents and thousands of children. But Tamila felt a little sad because she didn't have a husband or children of her own. She said to her friend, "Success is even more sweet when we have someone neat to share it with." Since his father was gone, his older brother introduced a rich girl from down the road to him for marriage, but when she saw Asela's shed, she decided not to marry him. Many other girls came, but they did the same even though Asela assured them that they would not be living in the shed. By this time, Asela was in need of patience. He was meeting so many beautiful girls but none of them seemed right. He needed to meet someone who was different than them. Friendly but foreign, simple but smart. Excellent but as fun as a child. He decided to ask for prayer at the local church for both his wife and his health. The man who prayed for him was very encouraging and told him, "You will meet a beautiful American woman, Asela. And don't worry about your health." Asela went home happily. As he was going, he saw Mr. John from the Sri Lanka U.S. Marriage Bureau. Mr. John asked, "Asela, why haven't you been to the cottage to check your mail?" Asela answered, "You're right. I completely forgot about it." He decided to check it right then, and sure enough an American girl in Hong Kong had written. She looked sweet but serious, friendly but smart. He decided to be her pen pal. They wrote emails, then texts, then they sent video messages. Finally, came the day for them to meet face to face. This woman is too tall, Asela thought. And this man is too young, Tamila thought. Neither of them were very happy, but since they were friends, they decided to tour the island together with their tour guide. The tour guide took them to tea in the high country, to an orphanage, and to a special lunch with the children. I love these children, Asela said. So do I, said Tamila. I want to do this for the rest of my life. Asela said. So do I, said Tamila. After that they had so much fun together. Suddenly, they both realized that they should get married. They decided to discuss it with their friends and family members, but no one was excited. Just wait for a sign, they all said. It was a very difficult time because everyone said they needed a special sign from God before they said, I do, and got engaged. What is the special sign? They asked. We like each other now. Isn't that good enough? But everyone said, no. Just wait until it's clear. Asela and Tamila didn't know what to do. They walked her back to her house and prayed. The next morning when she banged the shelf as she awoke, suddenly, her old journal fell open. On it, Tamila had written, Jesus, I need a husband and I hope you show me what he looks like before I ever meet him. It was a miracle. The picture she had drawn 3 years prior looked just like Asela. Tamila rejoiced and exclaimed, Oh God, surely this is a miracle. A few minutes later when she happened to look up, she saw a cloud form a heart shape in the sky. It seemed like God was smiling at her and saying, You're right. Success is sweet when we have someone neat to share it with. Asela also agreed, so they decided to show the picture to his family and hers. Everyone agreed that God had truly answered their prayers for marriage. The pictures were too identical. It had to be a match made in heaven, so they decided to get married right away. Asela dressed like a duke and Tamila wore the fabulous Sri Lankan headdress. And all their groomsmen and bridesmaids wore white clothing which looked like angels as a sign that God had brought them together. And of course, they lived happily ever after in a land far, far away from the alligators and reptiles. In the next chapter, read about how Asela becomes a big man in China.